We have Karen calling in from Massachusetts. Good morning, Karen. You're on the Mel Robbins Show. I am curious. What's your position on the whole stem cell debate?
Well, I kind of agree with what you were saying. I could hear you talking in the background there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's a lot of good that could be done with it. But there is, the other gentleman had said, he had some concerns about the downside. So, and I hadn't even thought about that, but I think we should be doing this.
I do too. Do you see the point I'm trying to make about like making changes in your life, though, that we all, when we go to look and make changes, we look ahead and we say, uh-oh, this could go wrong, that could spin out of control, so I won't even bother trying to change my life. I know I do it.
Definitely, I agree.
So, Karen, where can I help you out? I understand you have a ton of stuff happening all at once.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. I love your show.
Oh, thank you.
And I listened to it for the first time on Saturday, but I had read about you in the Boston Magazine.
Uh-oh, and you still like me? I hated that article. I wanted to kill them. Yes. Well, anyway, so go ahead. So thank you.
Well, it's kind of not everything happening at once. It's just been a series of unfortunate events, I guess you named after the movie there. And it's starting to wear me down. Actually, it's been wearing me down for a long time, but it's wearing me down more than ever now. And I think my biggest fear is that this downward spiral is going to continue, and it's going to be this way the rest of my life. And that's a scary thing.
Wow. I would be scared if I thought that about my life, too. We're going to reverse the spiral. What I want to talk about when we come back is exactly what are we dealing with, what's happened in your life, and how do we stop this downward spiral from pulling you down. We're going to build you back up, Karen, when we come back. This is the Mel Robbins Show. So, Karen, you said that you feel like your life is in a downward spiral. How come?
Yes. Well, I guess starting with years of infertility in the 90s, my ex-husband and I could not have a baby. That's probably the least of everything that I've gone through was that.
That's a lot.
And then we ended up adopting a baby boy in 1997, healthy baby boy from Chicago. And within about 2 years, we discovered that he had some medical issues. And it turns out he ended up with a diagnosis of something called neurofibromatosis. And then he ended up with another diagnosis of the autism spectrum disorder.
Mm-hmm.
And then ADHD.
What's neurofibromatosis?
It's a neurological disease that makes you susceptible to getting tumors anywhere in the body where there are nerves.
Oh, my gosh.
And it causes a lot of learning disabilities, processing issues. It's variable. You just don't know when a person gets this diagnosis how their life is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the more troubling symptoms of NF kick in during the teen years.
How old's your son?
He's 11 now.
Wow.
So,
now, what about your marriage? How did your marriage handle a child that was autistic and this diagnosis of NF and
not very well, because when my son was 4.5, we ended up getting divorced, and so that was another kind of difficult life event that, on top of everything else that I was hit with. So we got divorced and this was in 2002. And
was it because of everything going on with your son? The stress involved?
Well, I don't know. It certainly didn't help, but my ex-husband sort of took the attitude that it wasn't a bad marriage, but he didn't want to. To describe exactly what he said, to quote him exactly, I just don't want to settle like everybody else, meaning pretty much everybody else we knew had to work at their marriages, and he didn't want to do that. So there was nothing really, there was no real compelling reason for the divorce except, I guess it was a midlife crisis and he sort of checked out. And he
You know, that's frustrating because at least if they cheat or something, you can get really angry and have an emotional outburst and sort of move on. When it just deflates like that without good closure.
Well, I wish that he had cheated, because maybe that would have saved the marriage, but it didn't go that way. So I've been a single mom. Now his dad is a great father, and he's very good with the family support payments. So I've been able to stay home with Rick and take care of him. But then in 2007, he was diagnosed with a very malignant brain tumor.
Oh my goodness!
The worst brain tumor that you can get. And
what kind of support system do you have?
I don't have any family here. I have a wonderful family in upstate New York, but none of them are here. I do have some wonderful friends. And, his dad is very dependable and there for everything as far as, the medical stuff. So that's really my support system.
So basically, it's you don't have any supports. I mean, you got friends, but I mean, my family doesn't live near us either.
Right.
And you can only go to your friends so often.
Right.
So, look, anyway, I can understand why you feel like a downward spiral is happening in your life with the divorce and the stuff that your son is facing and everything that's going on. Well, we're going to start rebuilding you when we come back. I'm on the phone with Karen, and Karen, I'm so glad you called in because you have had literally just, it's like a waterfall of bad things descend on you. I mean, from the diagnosis of your son, and the fact that he's now struggling with a brain tumor, the marriage which ended in divorce. I mean, the fact that
there is one other thing.
Oh no!
Last week I was told that I have breast cancer, so I'm
what
dealing
stage?
with. Well, it's one of the better breast cancers, if you can call it that.
I love how upbeat you are.
Well,
I have to give you props for that. That's amazing.
It's very treatable. They call it a non-invasive, but it still needs to be dealt with, and it's going to hold me back from getting back to work for at least for a while. It's just another shoe dropped. And we're running out of shoes at this point.
Well, I think the shoes have all dropped. I don't think there's another shoe coming. And the thing about the breast cancer that's interesting, especially with the diagnosis that is a good diagnosis, if there could be one, is in an interesting way. It really connects you to your son and the experience of what he's going through. But what is it that you want? Like what? Because what I hear is utter lack of control as things keep happening to you?
Yes. Yeah, I guess I feel I feel like I need hope because a lot of everything that's happened really I don't feel as if it's my fault, that I haven't really done anything wrong. I haven't brought this on myself. And I feel as if I want to have hope for the future, that given everything that's happened, that I can still go on and have a good life for the rest of my life, and that there's hope, and that things will turn around, and that good things will happen, and that I can get out there and do something great with my life.